Hello, my name is Brett Henley. As I told you before in my earlier speech, I'm a baseball fanatic. I love all different types of sports, but my favorite sport has got to be baseball. Baseball originated in many countries, but most commonly known in Japan. The earliest mention of baseball was in 1791 when it wasn't really called baseball, it was called cricket. Cricket is basically baseball, it's just played with a paddock and lasts several days. Baseball was first governed by an organization in 1857. Professional baseball began in 1869. Baseball dates way back before the Civil War. At that time, there was a strong tension between the amateur and the professional baseball players. At this time, there was no professional baseball, so the greater players played with the worse players and didn't go on the road. Due to the rising tension, a separation occurred, and the two levels of players had their own league. So at this time, the professional league came along. At one time, there was a gentleman's agreement which was set to deny any player of the opposite race to play professional league. They could play their own leagues, they could play the Negro leagues, which came along earlier or later. The first African-American ball player was Jackie Robinson. He was drafted by the general manager of the Brooklyn Dodgers, Branch Rickey. Because of Jackie Robinson, the game of baseball has changed. Now we introduce players of all different race and from all different types of countries. At this time, because of the great players that were just getting bought into teams, there were restrictions set on the National Association of Baseball. The first championship game was known as the World Series. The second two top teams had to play in the championship game, and you had to have contracts for each player. You couldn't just buy your way into the team. And you had to control the players so there was no rebellion. Before the first African-American ball player, Jackie Robinson, came around, African-Americans had their own league known as the Negro Leagues. At the time of the Negro Leagues, many other countries started their own league because they were not allowed into the MLB. Around this time, the U.S. began its involvement in World War II, and many of the baseball players had to flee to the war, and many of them died. This caused extreme decrease in the amount of baseball players for many years. So racial integration was a big discussion in baseball for many years. Baseball evolved over many years and one of the biggest U.S. sports today. I want to talk about the dead ball era with Babe Ruth. Babe Ruth became around the dead ball era, and the dead ball era was a type of baseball that had been changed. Before, they could throw pitches known as the spitball, any other pitch to make the ball spin in different ways. But during the dead ball era, there was no home runs until Babe Ruth came around. There was no such thing as a home run, there was just infield grounders. And during the dead ball era, Babe Ruth changed the game with his many home runs that he had, and it changed the form of the baseball. And that's my story of the history. Thank you. Thank God.